welcome to the 2016 Kia Optima GT. This is a 2-litre turbo. It's essentially supposed to be a mid-sized car, but really I'm sort of pushing it up into the larger sort of size bracket. The only real downfall from interior space is the center seat width. Like, you know how much I love that. There's an issue with a lot of cars, and with this one the issue still remains. That little bit of hip space in the center seat isn't quite wide enough to get it right up into the into the large size bracket for me, but pretty damn close. Everything else, accommodation wise, I put this above the Ford Falcon, except for that middle seat hip width. So, and headroom. But this does have a panoramic roof, so it's sort of got a bit of a disadvantage. So I've got to slouch a little bit when I'm sitting in it, which is a bit annoying. But what a view. Nonetheless, definitely knocking on the large car door as far as interior space goes. The back seat space is massive. Legroom is huge. Access is very easy. The doors are about the right size. They're not too long and not too big and heavy, so getting in and out is a breeze. The boot is quite enormous, and even though the opening aperture kind of is a bit squishy, that's kind of a price you pay for getting a sedan these days. Obviously, from an aerodynamic perspective, the hatch is a much more aerodynamically efficient shape, and all the sedans have gone that way and gone with a little boot. I'm pretty sure in the next generation you'll see a lot of sedans disappearing and large hatchbacks arriving, just like the Skoda Octavia has done for a while, where their hatch looked like a sedan, but really you can lift the whole back on it. So now I'm starting to see the Kia as a little bit of a Korean Pontiac, in that everything that they have is kind of a sportier version of the Hyundais, but a little bit sharper, a little bit harder. Now when you compare this to the 2-litre turbo Sonata, this is far sharper. I mean, they still do have a fair bit of body roll, but the damping is very well set up. It's quite sporty in its approach to how it handles corners. It feels very sporty. And just the interior, I mean, the red and black, even that fits into the stereotypical what you would expect to see in a Pontiac. I don't know whether they're going to be able to tap into that particular Pontiac market, because they don't have a rear-wheel drive hero product. Not yet, at least, anyway. Clearly, that's exactly what I'd like to see, like I guess a more affordable version of something like the Genesis. But I think we'll hear a lot more from Hyundai and Kia in the future about their rear-wheel drive offerings. Where am I going? It's funny, when you tell somebody that Kia has a 7-year unlimited kilometre warranty, just to see the look on people's faces, just like, what? And insert profanities here, I guess is the ultimate takeaway. But every one of them said they really like the interior, and I really like this design of the interior as well. The current Sportage that I was driving the other day has the same benefit. It's got a very similar layout. It's quite comfortable. The finish is pretty good. There's just one little tiny black mark against it, is the area where the touchscreen meets to the dash. It's got a little bit of a split in it. So that's one little black mark against it, but overall, very impressive. On the other part that's very impressive is the way that you can lean on it. Now, as I've mentioned a million times before, turbo front-wheel drives typically have the problem where you try and lean on it and you put some power through the front end and you start getting understeer. And that's probably always going to happen. But the benefit of this particular configuration is the fact that they have the Michelin Pilot Sport tyres on the front. Well, they've got them on the back as well. But they've upgraded the tyres for the turbos. In the original Sonata 2-litre turbo that I drove last year, I was kind of underwhelmed by the way that the torque through the front, I think they were Nexon tyres, quickly made the additional power of the turbo redundant, because it was understeering, slipping, and it was, I guess, quite uninspiring. Whereas this one with the Michelin tyres on the front, You do get a little bit of front end slip if you're applying power through the corner, but you can carry so much speed into the corner with these tyres that it kind of doesn't matter, because the amount of speed you've got when you come out the other side, because of your higher levels of mid-corner grip, make the application of too much power coming out of the corner kind of redundant, because you're already hauling ass by the time you get to the other side. Surprisingly, fuel economy is pretty good. Around town it kind of gets high. My wife had this yesterday to go and take the kids to school and stuff, and she got 12.8 litres per 100 Ks. So not particularly impressive in that respect, but on the highway I was getting around 6.2-ish, 6.5 on a particularly good run. Currently sitting at 7 litres per 100 Ks. So really economy is quite good. So what else is there really? It's got all the spec that you need. It's got radar cruise, automatic headlight, auto dipping. It's got active headlights that point around the corners when you turn the steering wheel. It's got electric park brake. Plenty of information on the display screens. The GPS map is big and really easy to use. The only annoying part is every time it gets an update, it'll beep and turn the stereo down a little bit. Even if you've muted the announcements, it will still go boop and just turn the speaker down a little bit, just to bug me. Honestly, there's no functional benefit out of it. I couldn't figure out how to fix the problem, so I'm just going to bitch about it. Aside from that, Harman Kardon stereo in this, it kicks ass. It does make a really impressive racket. So we got plenty of good tech, good stereo, good seats, memory seats, nice looking red leather. Interior fit and finish is pretty good. Performance is really good, and handling is really, really good.
Yeah.